Welcome to Core Concepts from Dent Gaming. Let's see this build. Hey everybody, what is up? I've got another build for you today, but this is a special episode. This is episode 40. I cannot believe I've made it to that number. I can't even count that high. Like, I run out of fingers and toes. Like, it's getting out of control. But this is the build that I originally beat the game with. So it's got that kind of pedigree behind it. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. PvP, you can get wins, but only if your opponent really underestimates you. I'm really just doing this as kind of like a nod to where I started as to where I am now. That is what this episode is all about. But as far as battle strategy goes, this thing's pretty straightforward. You shoot them until they die. That is the main battle strategy. But there is a slight little quirk with it. So as you guys can see, I am running dual attachés, which are the heavy machine guns. Just absolute monsters. Great effective range, great ideal ranges, great effective ranges. Really decent pile up attack power and impact. And I've got not one but two. Usually what I will do is I will fire like 25 to 50% of the ammunition in one machine gun and then immediately start firing with the other machine gun. And then that way, when this one runs out of ammo, this one's still firing. That way you get that constant pressure on your opponent. That is why I usually do have a dual machine gun and or rifle builds. I love that concept. On the back, I am rocking dual songbirds, which kind of an odd grenade launcher shooting that twin shell. The explosive radius is good, not great. It's no earshot, but it does fire two of them. One thing I did notice is that when you are locked onto somebody and you fire the songbirds, it will fire one where they are, and then the second one, should they quick boost, will go where they're going. So if you are over your enemy, it's kind of almost like a weird shotgun grenade launcher. I don't know what to call it because it spreads a little bit better. Anyway, I've got not one but two of those, so that is 4 grenade launchers aimed at my adversary. Main battle strategy, like I was saying earlier, wear them down with this, and when you can, hit them with these. It's super straightforward. Moving on to the frame, I'm running the F-Mirror head. Now, I have been tweaking this build here and there, but I've been keeping it basically the same premise all the way through. This is the newest addition to this build, obviously, because F-Mirror head I don't believe is unlocked until way later in the game. I believe this actually used to be the Varel, and I decided to put that on there because these specs are better. So we get an increase in stability, which is always nice, increase in system recovery, which is nice, and an increase in the energy and explosive defenses. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to do this. Not to mention it's slightly less EN load. So that is one of the reasons why I popped to the F-Mira. The Tien Quang has been on there since this thing's inception. I just thought this was the coolest core out there. It really reminded me a lot of the old Kisaragi cores from like Armored Core, what was that? It's like Armored Core Silent Line, and just that era of core. So that's one of the reasons why I equipped that big chonker right there. So the Melander arms I equipped, they used to be running the C3s, but I wanted more defense. And I really do use my machine guns as a spray weapon, so I decided to up the defense and just use them as a spray weapon, which they definitely are. The legs, these have been on there since this thing's inception. I haven't changed them, although they are not the greatest of legs. They're definitely not the worst. I could go with something like this, but it would slow me down. Not that I'm a speed demon as it is. Or I could throw these things on there. You know, that'd be kind of fun to manipulate it that way and get that added stability. I'm not interested in doing that. I think it overall, I mean, it's definitely a chonker. Like, it's a chonky AC, but man, I tell you what, if your opponent comes at you and you catch them right with this thing, you can do some hurting with it. Booster Gridwalker. Yeah, I know, no melee on this thing, but I really got this for the upward thrust. It really takes people by surprise to see a 99,000 unit weight AC skyrocket up into the air like a bottle rocket. So it generally takes people off guard. So yeah, I do use that. The QB thrust is a little underwhelming, but when I'm fighting against an opponent with this, I usually use the yo-yo type tactics where I'm up and I'm down, I'm up and I'm down, I'm up and I'm down, and that actually mitigates a whole lot of QBing. So to be honest with you, that is exactly how I use it. I'm running the Ocellus because it is primarily a close range build. I could swap it out for something that maybe does close and medium like the Talbot, but I'm not running missiles, so that wouldn't be beneficial. I could switch to something like this to make the mid-range a little bit better. Matter of fact, I haven't really tried it with the Abbott before, so I'll try this just for you guys and I will upload it like that. But just know that it used to have this on there in case you run into that close range problem. That is the one that usually on there. The Sand Tide generator. This thing used to be just one of the most OP generators in the game. I left it in there because it's still statistically fairly strong, even though it does get beat out now by the Hokushi with the reload. It still has an absolutely monstrous EN cap, and it's still a very viable generator, even though it's definitely weighty and needs another rebalance. Pulse armor. So I used to have assault armor on this, but once I started actually fighting opponents, I realized that pulse armor was the way to go because it mitigates your stagger buildup. So that's why that is on there. All right, that is the build and the battle strategy. Let me go ahead and show you guys what this thing can do. Come here, Freud. All right, episode 40. Oh my, dude, this view takes me back. Oh my gosh. I was in this cockpit for a while. Up and down, up and down. When you get close to them, let loose those freaking grenade launchers like I just did. That is the way to go. Ugh. Old thing still got it. Alright guys, that was Harv Incarnate, uploading it for the very, very first time ever, just for you guys. Alright, we got a share ID of LEUVCA9P4AG2. If you like him, take him, he's all yours. I had an absolute blast using this big giant robot to blow stuff up. Please like and subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.